Thutmose III, a name that would echo through the annals of history, a name synonymous with Egyptian military might and unparalleled leadership. But his path to glory was not straightforward. It was fraught with challenges and unexpected turns. He ascended the throne as a young boy, co-ruling with his stepmother Hatshepsut, who was a formidable force in her own right. She was a powerful woman, a rarity in Egyptian history, who defied conventions and took on the role of pharaoh. Hatshepsut assumed the full mantle of pharaoh, relegating Thutmose to the shadows, where he watched and learned. For 2 decades, he remained in the background, observing the intricacies of governance and power. This was his training ground, a period of intense learning and preparation. He honed his skills, waiting for his moment, mastering the art of warfare and leadership. Little did the world know a storm was brewing. Thutmose was biding his time, ready to unleash his potential. Hatshepsut's reign focused on peace and prosperity, bringing stability to the kingdom. She expanded trade and commissioned ambitious building projects, leaving a lasting legacy. Thutmose, however, yearned for the battlefield. His heart was set on military conquest and glory. He trained with the army, mastering weaponry and tactics, preparing for the day he would lead. He strategized, studied past campaigns, and dreamt of conquest, envisioning a vast empire under his rule. The young pharaoh in waiting was destined for greatness. His time would come, and when it did, the world would witness the rise of a legend. After 22 years, Hatshepsut died. Thutmose III, now a mature and experienced ruler, finally took sole control of Egypt. The lion, long dormant, was unleashed. He immediately embarked on a series of military campaigns. His goal? To restore Egypt's dominance and expand its borders. Thutmose was a brilliant military strategist. He was also a ruthless and efficient leader. His first target was the rebellious kingdom of Kadesh. This powerful city-state in Syria challenged Egyptian authority. Thutmose would make an example of them. He led his army north, crushing all resistance in his path. The young pharaoh was eager to prove himself. He would show the world the true might of Egypt. The Battle of Megiddo, fought in 1457 BC, would define Thutmose III's reign. This battle is often considered one of the earliest recorded military engagements in history. The walled city of Megiddo was a strategic stronghold. Its location was crucial, as it sat at the crossroads of several important trade routes. It controlled vital trade routes, making it a coveted prize for any ruler seeking to dominate the region. The king of Kadesh rallied his allies, amassing a formidable force within Megiddo's walls. This coalition of Canaanite kings posed a significant threat to Egyptian dominance. Thutmose, however, would outmaneuver them with his keen strategic mind and bold tactics. He faced 3 possible routes to reach Megiddo, each fraught with danger and potential ambushes. Thutmose, a risk-taker, chose the most perilous path, a narrow pass through the Aruna Mountains. This decision was both daring and unexpected. This unexpected move caught the enemy off guard, as they had not anticipated an approach from such a treacherous route. Thutmose's army emerged behind enemy lines, surprising the Canaanite forces and gaining a significant tactical advantage. The Egyptians, inspired by their king's audacity and leadership, fought with unmatched ferocity and determination. The Battle of Megiddo was a decisive victory for Thutmose III. This triumph not only secured his reign, but also expanded Egypt's influence in the region. It cemented his reputation as a brilliant military strategist and a fearless leader, whose legacy would be remembered for centuries. Megiddo was only the beginning. Over the next 2 decades, Thutmose III launched 17 military campaigns. He marched his armies across the ancient Near East. He subdued Nubia to the south, extending Egyptian control deep into Africa. He then turned his attention east. He conquered Syria, shattered the Mitanni kingdom, and pushed the boundaries of his empire to the Euphrates River. Thutmose was not just a conqueror, he was also a shrewd administrator. He established governorships in conquered territories. He implemented efficient systems of tribute collection. These strategies ensured the flow of wealth and resources back to Egypt. Thutmose III's reign marked the zenith of Egyptian power. Thutmose III's campaigns brought immense wealth to Egypt. Gold, silver, precious stones and exotic animals flowed into the royal coffers. He used this wealth to embellish temples, construct monuments and patronize the arts. But his strategy went beyond plunder. He took the children of conquered rulers as hostages. These royal hostages were brought to Egypt and given an Egyptian education. They learned the Egyptian language, culture and administration. This ingenious tactic served two purposes. It ensured the loyalty of vassal states. It also created a class of foreign officials sympathetic to Egypt. They would later govern their homelands, effectively extending Egyptian influence. Thutmose III was a prolific builder. He commissioned magnificent temples, towering obelisks, and colossal statues. He expanded the temple complex at Karnak, adding the impressive Akhmenu, a grand festival hall dedicated to his achievements. He erected obelisks throughout Egypt, inscribed with accounts of his victories. He wanted his legacy to last forever. Some of these obelisks still stand today. They serve as a reminder of his power and ambition. One such obelisk, later transported to Rome, now graces St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. Thutmose's architectural projects were not merely displays of power, they were also essential economic drivers. They provided employment for thousands of workers, stimulating the Egyptian economy. Unlike many rulers, Thutmose III did not shy away from the truth. He inscribed the walls of his monuments with detailed accounts of his campaigns. These inscriptions, known as the Annals of Thutmose III, provide valuable insights into his reign. They describe his military strategies, the ferocity of the battles, and the vast booty he collected. They also reveal his personality, a determined, ambitious, and deeply religious ruler. The Annals are not mere propaganda. They are honest accounts of a remarkable reign. They are a testament to Thutmose III's desire to preserve his legacy for eternity. Thutmose III was not just a warrior king, he was also a skilled administrator. He reformed the Egyptian bureaucracy, making it more efficient. He standardized weights and measures, facilitating trade. He invested in irrigation projects, increasing agricultural output. He patronized the arts and sciences, leading to a flourishing of culture and learning. Thutmose's reign wasn't solely defined by conquest. It was a period of peace and prosperity. His administrative reforms had a lasting impact on Egypt. They ensured stability and economic growth for generations to come. After over 3 decades of rule, Thutmose III died in 1425 BC. He left behind a vast and stable empire. He was laid to rest in the Valley of the Kings, surrounded by the splendor befitting his status. His son Amenhotep II inherited a prosperous and powerful kingdom. Thutmose's legacy, however, extended far beyond his bloodline. He was remembered as the epitome of the warrior pharaoh, a ruler who expanded Egypt's borders and filled its coffers. His name resonated through the ages, a byword for military genius and administrative acumen. Few figures in history command the awe and intrigue of Alexander the Great. His name echoes through the annals of time, a symbol of unparalleled ambition and military genius. This Macedonian king, born in 356 BC, conquered vast swathes of the ancient world, creating an empire that stretched from Greece to Egypt and into the heart of Asia. His campaigns were marked by strategic brilliance and relentless determination, leaving an indelible mark on the course of Western civilization. His influence extended beyond the battlefield, shaping the cultural and intellectual landscape of the regions he conquered. Yet the final resting place of this legendary conqueror remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Despite numerous accounts and theories, the exact location of Alexander's tomb has eluded discovery for over 2 millennia. The search for Alexander's tomb has captivated historians, archaeologists and treasure hunters for centuries, each driven by the hope of uncovering one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time, fueled by tantalizing clues and a profound desire to uncover the secrets buried within. Ancient texts and historical records provide hints, but none have led to a definitive discovery. The significance of finding Alexander's tomb extends far beyond the recovery of lost treasure or the confirmation of historical records. It represents a bridge to the past, a direct link to one of history's most influential figures. Within that lost mausoleum lies the potential to unlock a deeper understanding of Alexander himself, his beliefs, his ambitions, and his legacy. The artifacts and inscriptions within could provide unprecedented insights into his life and the era he dominated. The tomb's discovery would offer invaluable insights into the funerary practices, artistry, and cultural exchange of the Hellenistic period, a time when Alexander's conquests forged connections between East and West. In 323 BC, at the age of 32, Alexander the Great's triumphant reign was cut short in Babylon. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery, with theories ranging from illness to poisoning. Some accounts describe a high fever, while others point to the possibility of assassination by rivals within his own ranks. Regardless of the cause, Alexander's death plunged his vast empire into chaos. Without a clear heir, his generals, known as the Diadochi, engaged in a bitter power struggle that would last for decades. Amidst this turmoil, the fate of Alexander's body became a matter of immediate concern. Tradition dictated that a king of Alexander's stature deserved a lavish burial and a magnificent tomb. However, the logistics of preserving and transporting his body presented a considerable challenge in the ancient world. The journey from Babylon to his Macedonian homeland was long and arduous, and the summer heat posed a significant risk of decomposition. One of Alexander's most trusted generals, Ptolemy the Vsoter, ultimately took possession of the king's body. Ptolemy, a man of great ambition and vision, saw in Alexander's remains not just the body of a fallen leader, but a powerful symbol that could cement his own authority and legacy. Ptolemy, who would later establish himself as the ruler of Egypt, initially transported Alexander's remains to Memphis, the ancient capital of Egypt. Memphis, a city steeped in history and tradition, was a fitting temporary resting place for the great conqueror. The journey to Memphis was a grand procession, reflecting the reverence and respect Alexander commanded even in death. There, Alexander was embalmed by Egyptian priests, masters of the art of preserving the dead. The embalming process was intricate and sacred, involving rituals and techniques perfected over millennia. The priests, with their deep knowledge of mummification, ensured that Alexander's body would be preserved for eternity, a testament to his enduring legacy. Memphis, however, was not intended to be Alexander's final resting place. Ptolemy had grander plans, envisioning a tomb that would reflect the greatness of Alexander and serve as a symbol of his own rule. The discussions and planning for this monumental task were extensive, involving architects, artisans, and scholars. Ptolemy envisioned a grander tomb for his former king and comrade, a monument that would not only honor Alexander, but also legitimize Ptolemy's own claim to power and his vision for a new Hellenistic dynasty in Egypt. The construction of this tomb was a massive undertaking, requiring resources and labor on an unprecedented scale. It was a project that would take years to complete, but Ptolemy was determined to see it through. Thus began the construction of a magnificent tomb in Alexandria, the vibrant cosmopolitan city Ptolemy founded on the shores of the Mediterranean. Alexandria, with its strategic location and cultural significance, was the perfect site for Alexander's final resting place. The city itself was a testament to Ptolemy's vision, a melting pot of cultures and ideas, reflecting the Hellenistic ideals of knowledge and progress. The exact location and design of this tomb remain a subject of debate, but historical accounts describe a structure of remarkable grandeur, adorned with precious materials and guarded by a contingent of soldiers. The tomb was not just a burial site, but a monument to Alexander's achievements and Ptolemy's aspirations. It was a place where the past and future converged, a symbol of continuity and change. Alexander's tomb in Alexandria quickly became a site of pilgrimage and veneration. People from all walks of life, from scholars to soldiers, made the journey to pay their respects. The tomb became a focal point for the Hellenistic world, a place where people could connect with the legacy of Alexander and the new era Ptolemy was ushering in. People from across the Hellenistic world flocked to pay their respects to the fallen conqueror, transforming his tomb into a symbol of Alexander's enduring legacy and Ptolemy's burgeoning power. The tomb was more than just a final resting place. It was a beacon of hope and inspiration, a reminder of the greatness that could be achieved through vision and determination. Alexander's journey did not end with his death. It continued through the lives and aspirations of those who came after him, forever etched in the annals of history. Despite its initial prominence, Alexander's tomb in Alexandria seemingly vanished from the historical record. This disappearance has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries, sparking numerous quests and expeditions to uncover its secrets. The tomb, once a symbol of Alexander the Great's unparalleled legacy, now exists only in the annals of history and the imaginations of those who seek it. While ancient writers provided detailed descriptions of the tomb's splendor and the rituals performed there, concrete information about its precise location and ultimate fate remains elusive. These descriptions paint a picture of a grand mausoleum adorned with precious metals and intricate carvings, a fitting tribute to one of history's most legendary figures. Yet, despite these vivid accounts, the physical evidence of the tomb's existence has remained frustratingly out of reach. Over the centuries, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the tomb's disappearance. Scholars have pored over ancient texts, debated the reliability of historical accounts, and examined every clue with meticulous care. Some suggest that the tomb was hidden deliberately to protect it from grave robbers, while others believe it was simply forgotten as the city of Alexandria evolved and expanded. Some historians believe that the tomb was destroyed during periods of unrest and upheaval that plagued Alexandria throughout its history. The city, a melting pot of cultures and a hub of trade, was no stranger to conflict. Riots, invasions, and political turmoil could have easily led to the tomb's destruction, its treasures looted, and its structure reduced to rubble. Earthquakes, fires, and the destructive fury of various conquerors all left their mark on the city, potentially obliterating Alexander's tomb in the process. Natural disasters, such as the devastating earthquake of 365 AD, reshaped the landscape of Alexandria, toppling buildings and altering the course of history. Fires, too, ravaged the city, consuming everything in their path, including perhaps the final resting place of Alexander the Great. Another theory suggests that the tomb might have been lost more gradually, swallowed by the shifting sands of time. As centuries passed, the once majestic structure could have been buried beneath layers of sand and debris, hidden from view and forgotten by the world. Nature, relentless and unyielding, has a way of reclaiming what was once hers, erasing the marks of human achievement. Alexandria's coastline is known to have shifted over the centuries, with portions of the ancient city now submerged beneath the waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The relentless advance of the sea, combined with the gradual erosion of the coastline, has transformed the landscape dramatically. Entire sections of the city, once bustling with life, now lie beneath the waves, silent witnesses to a bygone era. It is possible that Alexander's tomb, or at least parts of it, met a similar fate, buried beneath layers of sediment and lost to the encroaching sea. Underwater, archaeological explorations have uncovered remnants of ancient Alexandria, offering tantalizing glimpses into the past. Yet the tomb of Alexander the Great remains elusive, a mystery waiting to be unraveled by future generations of explorers and historians. France in the late 18th century was a nation ablaze with revolution and ambition. The streets of Paris echoed with the cries of liberty, equality and fraternity as the old order was dismantled and a new era began to take shape. The French Revolution had reshaped the political landscape, toppling monarchies and challenging the very foundations of European society. It was a time of great upheaval and even greater possibilities. Amidst this chaos, a young general named Napoleon Bonaparte was rising to prominence. His military prowess and strategic genius were quickly becoming the stuff of legend. His eyes were set on glory, and his gaze fell upon the ancient land of Egypt. To him, Egypt was not just a distant land, but a gateway to immortality.
Egypt, once a cradle of civilization, is now a strategic prize. Its location at the crossroads of Africa and Asia made it a key to controlling trade routes and exerting influence over the region. It holds the promise of disrupting British trade routes to India and expanding French influence. Control over Egypt could shift the balance of power in Europe.
Napoleon, however, saw beyond the geopolitical chessboard. He was not just a soldier, he was a visionary. He was captivated by the stories of Egypt's glorious past. The land of the pharaohs, with its pyramids and ancient mysteries, called to him like a siren song. The pharaohs, the pyramids, the mysteries of a lost civilization, these ignited a fire in his imagination. He dreamed of uncovering the secrets that had been buried for millennia.
Not just as a conqueror, but as a patron of knowledge, a beacon of enlightenment in a world shrouded in darkness. Uncovering the secrets buried beneath the sands. The treasures of Egypt were not just gold and jewels, but the wisdom of an ancient civilization.
In 1798, Napoleon embarked on his Egyptian expedition. It was a bold and audacious move, one that would test his leadership and vision. He carried with him not just the might of the French army, but the hopes and dreams of a nation, but also a contingent of scholars, scientists and artists. This was no ordinary military campaign. It was a quest for knowledge. This was a dual mission, to conquer Egypt and to unravel its ancient mysteries. The expedition was as much about discovery as it was about domination.
The expedition resonates with the spirit of the Enlightenment. It was a time when reason and science were seen as the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the world. Europe is in the throes of intellectual curiosity, eager to rediscover its classical past. The scholars who accompanied Napoleon were driven by a thirst for knowledge, eager to rediscover its classical past. They sought to bring the light of understanding to the dark corners of history. Egypt, with its ancient civilization and enigmatic monuments, holds an irresistible allure. It was a land of wonder and mystery, waiting to be explored.
The expedition was a testament to Napoleon's belief in the power of knowledge, even as he waged war. He saw himself as a bridge between the past and the future, even as he waged war. The battles fought in the sands of Egypt were not just for territory, but for the soul of a civilization. He saw the conquest of Egypt not just as a military objective, but as an opportunity to advance human understanding. It was a chance to rewrite history. Little did he know that his expedition would spark a global fascination with ancient Egypt, igniting a passion that would span centuries, giving birth to the field of Egyptology. Scholars from around the world would flock to Egypt, drawn by the allure of its ancient secrets, and forever changing our understanding of this ancient civilization. The legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian expedition is one of discovery, knowledge, and an unending quest for the truth. Napoleon's armada set sail from Toulon harbour, its destination the shores of Egypt. This ambitious expedition was not just a military endeavour, but a grand vision of conquest and enlightenment. The ships were laden not only with soldiers and weaponry, but also with scientific instruments, books and art supplies. Napoleon envisioned a new era of discovery, where the might of the French military would be complemented by the intellectual prowess of its scholars. The French troops landed in Alexandria in July 1798, quickly overwhelming the city's defences. The initial success was a testament to the meticulous planning and sheer force of Napoleon's army.
Promising to free the Egyptians from Ottoman rule, my words were meant to inspire and win the hearts of the local population, portraying the French as their saviors.
His words, however, rang hollow as the French army advanced southwards, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Villages were razed and the local populace suffered under the harsh realities of war. The Battle of the Pyramids, fought on the outskirts of Cairo, was a testament to French military might. The sight of the ancient pyramids standing witness to the clash of modern armies was both awe-inspiring and tragic. The Mamluk cavalry, though renowned for their prowess, was no match for the disciplined volleys of the French infantry. The battle showcased the superiority of French tactics and the devastating effectiveness of their firepower. Cairo fell into French hands, and with it, control of the Nile Delta. This strategic victory allowed the French to establish a foothold in Egypt, but it also marked the beginning of a prolonged and arduous campaign. But the conquest was far from over. The French faced continuous resistance from local forces and the looming threat of foreign intervention. The British Navy, sensing a threat to their interests in the region, engaged the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile. This confrontation would prove to be a pivotal moment in the campaign. The French, caught unawares in Aboukir Bay, suffered a crushing defeat. The loss of their fleet was a devastating blow, isolating Napoleon's forces in a hostile land. This naval disaster effectively stranded Napoleon's army in Egypt, cutting off their supply lines and reinforcements. The French soldiers, now isolated, had to rely on their resourcefulness and resilience to survive. The siege of Acre, however, proved to be a turning point. The Ottoman defenders, backed by British naval support, repelled repeated French assaults. The fortifications of Acre stood strong against the relentless French attacks. Napoleon, facing mounting casualties and news of unrest back in France, was forced to abandon the siege. The dream of a swift and glorious conquest was slipping away. His dreams of conquering the East lay shattered. The once ambitious campaign had turned into a struggle for survival and a race against time. His Egyptian adventure, though ultimately a military failure, had planted the seeds for something far greater, a renaissance in the study of ancient Egypt. The scholars who accompanied the expedition made groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the mysteries of a civilization long forgotten. Among these discoveries was the Rosetta Stone, a key to unlocking the secrets of Egyptian hieroglyphics. This artifact would become one of the most important tools in the study of ancient languages and cultures. The work of these scholars culminated in the monumental Description de l'Égypte, a comprehensive record of the expedition's findings. This publication would inspire generations of historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists. Today, the legacy of Napoleon's Egyptian campaign lives on in the continued fascination with ancient Egypt. The treasures uncovered and the knowledge gained have left an indelible mark on our understanding of history. Napoleon's invasion of Egypt, though driven by imperial ambitions, also marked the beginning of a new era of intellectual exploration. This campaign was not just about territorial conquest, it was also about the conquest of knowledge. Alongside his soldiers, Napoleon brought with him a carefully selected group of over 160 scholars, scientists, artists, and engineers. These individuals were not mere observers. They were active participants in a grand experiment to uncover the secrets of an ancient civilization. This group, known as the Commission of the Sciences and Arts of Egypt, was tasked with a unique mission to systematically study and document the ancient civilization they were conquering. Their work would go on to influence generations of historians, archaeologists, and scholars, meticulously recording their observations of ancient monuments, deciphering hieroglyphs, and studying local customs. Their efforts were not limited to grand temples and pyramids. They also documented everyday life, providing a comprehensive picture of Egyptian society. Their work, conducted amidst the chaos of war, laid the foundation for our modern understanding of ancient Egypt. Despite the constant threat of conflict, these scholars remained focused on their mission, driven by a passion for discovery. For the first time, Europe was getting a glimpse of Egypt not through the distorted lens of myth and legend, but through the objective eyes of science. This shift in perspective was revolutionary, challenging long-held beliefs and sparking a new era of Egyptology. These scholars, driven by a thirst for knowledge, braved the scorching desert heat, the threat of disease, and the constant dangers of war. Their resilience and dedication were remarkable as they navigated both the physical and intellectual challenges of their work. Their dedication to their task, even as battles raged around them, stands as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity. They were not deterred by the chaos around them. Instead, they used it as a backdrop for their groundbreaking research. Herodotus possessed a keen eye for observation and a passion for collecting stories. He sought out learned men and women, engaging them in lively discussions. He listened intently to tales whispered in marketplaces and songs sung in royal courts. He believed in the power of first-hand experience, venturing into remote regions to witness life in all its diversity. Herodotus understood that to truly comprehend the world, one had to explore its every corner. Egypt, with its ancient pyramids that have stood the test of time, towering majestically over the desert landscape, and enigmatic hieroglyphs that tell stories of gods, kings, and everyday life, held a particular allure for Herodotus. It was a land steeped in history, its origins lost to the mists of time, where every stone and ruin whispered secrets of a bygone era. Herodotus was captivated by the grandeur of its monuments, the towering statues that seemed to touch the sky, and the complexity of its civilization, a society that thrived with bustling marketplaces and intricate social structures. Herodotus immersed himself in Egyptian culture, engaging with priests, scribes, and ordinary people, learning from their daily lives and traditions. He learned about their religious beliefs, their social customs, and their understanding of the cosmos, which was deeply intertwined with their daily existence. He was fascinated by their stories of gods and pharaohs, tales of divine rulers and mythical beings, of creation and the afterlife, where elaborate burial practices ensured a journey to the next world. He recognized that Egypt offered a unique perspective on the human experience, a civilization that had mastered the art of living in harmony with the natural and supernatural worlds. Herodotus was a pioneer in the field of history, often referred to as the father of history, due to his groundbreaking work in documenting the past. However, his methods differed greatly from the rigorous standards of modern scholarship. Unlike today's historians, who rely on a combination of primary sources, archaeological evidence, and peer-reviewed research, Herodotus had to navigate a world where written records were scarce and often unreliable. He relied heavily on oral accounts, gathering stories from a wide range of sources. These included local storytellers, travelers, and merchants, each with their own version of events. Herodotus understood that history was often passed down through generations, shaped by the memories and perspectives of those who recounted it. This oral tradition was a double-edged sword. While it preserved the essence of events, it also allowed for embellishments and alterations over time. The stories he collected were like pieces of a puzzle, each one offering a glimpse into the past, but none providing a complete picture. The hieroglyphics and inscriptions he encountered were invaluable, yet they too were subject to interpretation. Herodotus recognized the subjective nature of his sources, but believed that by collecting multiple perspectives, he could approach a semblance of truth. He was aware that each account was colored by the teller's own experiences and biases. While Herodotus valued first-hand observation, he also relied on the interpretations of local guides and experts. These individuals provided him with insights that he could not have gained on his own. He understood that these guides and experts had spent their lives immersed in the culture and history of their land, making their knowledge indispensable. He consulted with Egyptian priests who possessed a deep knowledge of their history and religion. These priests were the keepers of sacred texts and oral traditions, offering Herodotus a wealth of information. He sought out Greek merchants and travelers who had spent years in Egypt, absorbing its culture. These individuals provided a unique perspective, bridging the gap between Greek and Egyptian worlds. He recognized that to fully understand a place, one had to rely on the knowledge of those who knew it best. This meant listening to the voices of the people who lived there, who had experienced its history firsthand. Herodotus's approach to history was not without its flaws. His reliance on oral accounts and second-hand information sometimes led him astray. He sometimes struggled to differentiate between fact and legend, accepting fantastical stories at face value. These tales, while captivating, often blurred the line between history and myth. He acknowledged the limitations of his own knowledge, often presenting conflicting accounts side by side. This approach allowed readers to see the diversity of perspectives, but also highlighted the uncertainties inherent in his work. However, his willingness to embrace uncertainty and to present multiple perspectives distinguished him as a historian. He was not afraid to admit when he did not know the full story, and he left room for future scholars to build upon his work. He understood that history was not simply a collection of facts, but a complex tapestry woven from memory, interpretation, and imagination. This holistic approach allowed him to capture the richness and complexity of human experience, making his work timeless and invaluable. Egypt, in the eyes of Herodotus, was a land of wonders, both familiar and strange. As he journeyed through this ancient civilization, he was struck by the unique blend of natural beauty and human ingenuity that defined the landscape. He marveled at the Nile's annual floods, which brought life to the arid land. These floods were not just a natural phenomenon, but a lifeline for the people, ensuring the fertility of the soil and the prosperity of the nation. He described the Egyptians' ingenious irrigation systems, which transformed the desert into fertile fields. These systems were a testament to their advanced engineering skills and their ability to adapt to their environment. He observed their agricultural practices, noting their cultivation of wheat, barley, and flax. These crops were not only staples of their diet, but also essential for their economy, providing materials for trade and daily life. Herodotus was impressed by the Egyptians' ability to harness the power of nature to sustain their civilization. Their agricultural techniques were sustainable and efficient, allowing them to thrive in a challenging environment. Herodotus was equally fascinated by the Egyptians' cultural practices. He witnessed their vibrant festivals, intricate rituals, and the daily routines that reflected their deep-seated beliefs and values. He described their reverence for the Nile, which they believed was the source of all life. The river was central to their religion and mythology, and they held numerous ceremonies to honor its vital role in their existence. He observed their elaborate burial rituals, including the mummification of their dead and the construction of elaborate tombs. These practices were deeply rooted in their belief in the afterlife and the importance of preserving the body for the journey beyond. He noted their fascination with astronomy, their development of a calendar based on the solar year, and their construction of massive pyramids aligned with the stars. These achievements demonstrated their advanced understanding of the cosmos and their desire to connect with the divine. Herodotus recognized the Egyptians' deep connection to their environment and their reverence for the natural world. This connection was evident in their art, architecture, and daily practices, all of which reflected a profound respect for the forces of nature. He observed their respect for animals, particularly cats, which they considered sacred. Cats were not only pets, but also symbols of protection and grace, often depicted in their art and associated with the goddess Bastet. He noted their belief in the afterlife and their elaborate preparations for the journey into the underworld. These preparations included not only mummification, but also the provision of goods, amulets, and inscriptions to guide and protect the deceased in the afterlife. Herodotus understood that the Egyptians' worldview was fundamentally different from that of the Greeks, shaped by their unique environment and their ancient traditions. This difference was reflected in their art, religion and social structures, offering a rich tapestry of cultural diversity that fascinated and inspired him. Ancient Egypt, a land of majestic pyramids and colossal temples, a civilization shrouded in mystery and wonder. For centuries, the secrets of the ancient Egyptians lay dormant, locked away in their intricate scripts. Like whispers from the past, these scripts tantalized explorers and scholars alike. They held the key to understanding a civilization that had vanished millennia ago. The sands of time had buried the stories, beliefs and knowledge of the ancient Egyptians, but the discovery of these scripts sparked a quest for knowledge. It was a quest to decipher the symbols and unlock the secrets of this ancient world. The journey promised to be both challenging and rewarding. The allure of ancient Egypt lies not only in its monumental architecture, it also lies in the intricate system of writing that adorned its walls. These inscriptions, a complex tapestry of symbols and figures, were not mere decorations. They were a sophisticated system of communication, a system that evolved over centuries, reflecting the changing needs of the Egyptian civilization. The study of ancient Egyptian scripts has illuminated our understanding of this remarkable civilization. It has brought us closer to the lives of the pharaohs, priests, and ordinary people who lived along the banks of the Nile. Their stories, once lost to time, are now being pieced together. At the heart of ancient Egyptian writing lay three principal scripts: hieroglyphs, hieratic and demotic. Each script served a distinct purpose, reflecting the diverse needs of Egyptian society. Understanding these scripts is crucial to unlocking the mysteries of ancient Egyptian civilization. Hieroglyphs, meaning sacred carvings, were the most formal and elaborate script. These intricate symbols, often resembling animals, plants, or everyday objects, represented words, sounds, or concepts. Hieroglyphs adorned the walls of temples and tombs. They served as a visual testament to the power of the pharaohs and the glory of the gods. For everyday use, the Egyptians developed a cursive script known as hieratic. Hieratic, meaning priestly, was a simplified and more fluid form of hieroglyphs. It was used by scribes for administrative documents, letters, and literary texts. Hieratic played a vital role in the day-to-day functioning of the Egyptian state. As time progressed, a new script emerged called demotic. Demotic, meaning popular, was even more cursive and abstract than hieratic. It became the dominant script during the late period of ancient Egypt. Demotic appeared on contracts, legal documents, and even on pieces of pottery. It offered a glimpse into the lives of ordinary Egyptians. The act of writing in ancient Egypt was a sacred and skilled craft. Scribes, highly respected members of society, were entrusted with the task of preserving knowledge and recording history. They approached their work with meticulous care, using a variety of materials and tools. Papyrus, a paper-like material made from the papyrus plant, was the primary writing surface. The Egyptians developed a complex process for harvesting, processing, and assembling papyrus sheets into scrolls. These scrolls could be of varying lengths. Some were short, others stretched for meters, containing vast amounts of information. The scribe's toolkit consisted of a palette, 2 reed brushes, and a pot of water. The palette, usually made of wood or stone, held 2 depressions for black and red ink. Black ink, made from soot or charcoal mixed with gum, was used for the main body of the text. Red ink, derived from ochre or red lead, was used for headings, highlights, and special symbols. Writing on papyrus required a steady hand and a keen eye for detail. Scribes used the 2 reed brushes with varying thicknesses to create different stroke widths. The brushes were dipped in water and then into the ink, carefully controlling the flow of ink onto the papyrus. For centuries, the secrets of ancient Egyptian scripts remained hidden. Scholars could only marvel at the beauty of the hieroglyphs without understanding their meaning. Then in 1799, a discovery revolutionized the study of ancient Egypt, the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone, a large slab of black granite, was unearthed by French soldiers in the Egyptian port city of Rosetta. It contained the same text inscribed in 3 different scripts: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. This trilingual inscription proved to be the key to deciphering the ancient Egyptian language. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone ignited a wave of excitement among scholars worldwide. Here, at last, was a tool that could unlock the secrets of the hieroglyphs. The ancient Greek inscription, a language well known to scholars, provided a translation of the Egyptian texts. The process of deciphering the hieroglyphs was long and arduous. Scholars painstakingly compared the 3 scripts, looking for patterns and correspondences. They realized that certain hieroglyphs enclosed in ovals, known as cartouches, represented the names of pharaohs. This breakthrough paved the way for further discoveries. The Egyptian language, like all languages, was not static. It evolved over millennia, adapting to changing social and cultural influences. Understanding this linguistic evolution is crucial to grasping the nuances of ancient Egyptian texts. The earliest known stage of the Egyptian language is Old Egyptian, spoken from the early dynastic period to the end of the Old Kingdom. Old Egyptian laid the foundation for later stages of the language. It is characterized by its complex grammar and distinctive vocabulary. As time progressed, Old Egyptian gave way to Middle Egyptian, spoken during the Middle Kingdom and Second Intermediate period. Middle Egyptian exhibited some grammatical simplifications compared to its predecessor. It became the language of classical literature and religious texts. During the New Kingdom, Late Egyptian emerged as the dominant language. Late Egyptian witnessed further grammatical changes and saw the introduction of new words. It was the language of administration, diplomacy, and everyday life. The final stage of the Egyptian language was Coptic, which emerged in the Roman period. Coptic, written using the Greek alphabet, incorporated elements of Greek vocabulary. It was primarily used by the Coptic Christian community and eventually faded out as Arabic became the dominant language of Egypt. In the hierarchy of ancient Egyptian society, scribes held a position of great respect and influence. They were the guardians of knowledge, responsible for preserving and transmitting information across generations. Their skills were essential to the functioning of the Egyptian state. Becoming a scribe was a long and arduous process. Boys from elite families began their training at a young age. They spent years memorizing hieroglyphs, mastering grammar and learning the intricacies of Egyptian literature. Scribal schools were demanding environments. Discipline was strict. Students who excelled were rewarded with prestigious positions in the royal court or temples. The role of scribes extended far beyond simply writing. They served as administrators, accountants, priests, and even architects. Their knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering was crucial for building temples, surveying land, and managing complex irrigation systems. Scribes were not merely copyists. They were also creative thinkers and storytellers. They composed hymns to the gods, love poems, and tales of adventure. Their works provide invaluable insights into the beliefs, values, and daily lives of the ancient Egyptians. The legacy of ancient Egyptian scripts is profound and enduring. The deciphering of hieroglyphs and the study of the Egyptian language have revolutionized our understanding of this ancient civilization. We can now read the words of pharaohs, explore the beliefs of priests, and delve into the lives of ordinary people. The inscriptions on temple walls and tomb paintings are no longer silent witnesses to a bygone era. They speak to us across millennia, revealing the hopes, dreams, and fears of a civilization that flourished along the banks of the Nile. We can now appreciate the artistry of their writing, the complexity of their language, and the depth of their knowledge. The study of ancient Egyptian scripts is an ongoing endeavor. New discoveries are constantly being made, shedding further light on this fascinating civilization. Each inscription deciphered, each text translated, brings us one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of ancient Egypt. The Nile, a life-giving river, snakes through the arid landscapes of North Africa. Along its banks, an extraordinary civilization blossomed thousands of years ago, ancient Egypt. This land, shrouded in mystery and legend, continues to captivate our imagination. From the towering pyramids of Giza to the enigmatic Sphinx, the remnants of ancient Egypt whisper tales of pharaohs, gods, and a civilization that thrived for millennia. These monumental structures are not mere relics of a bygone era. They stand as testaments to human ingenuity, ambition, and a deep connection with the cosmos. The ancient Egyptians believed in the eternal cycle of life and death, reflected in their elaborate burial rituals and the grandeur of their tombs. Join me now as we embark on a journey through time, exploring the rise and fall of this extraordinary civilization. Our adventure takes us from the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt to the era of powerful pharaohs who commanded vast armies and immense wealth. We'll delve into the lives of ordinary Egyptians, their beliefs, their innovations, and their enduring legacy that continues to shape our world today. Prepare to be amazed by the splendors of ancient Egypt, a land of enduring fascination and unparalleled historical significance. Before the grandeur of the pyramids and the might of the pharaohs, Egypt existed as two separate entities, Upper and Lower Egypt. These regions were distinct in their cultures, traditions, and even their gods. The fertile lands of the Nile Valley were divided, each region with its own ruler and deities. The people of Upper Egypt worshipped gods like Seth, while those in Lower Egypt revered gods such as Wadjet. This division, however, would not last forever. The desire for unity and strength was ever present, and the two regions were destined to come together. Around 3100 BC, a powerful king emerged from Upper Egypt. His name was Narmer. He was a visionary leader who saw the potential of a united Egypt. Narmer's victory over Lower Egypt marked a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. His triumph was not just a military conquest, but a symbolic act of unification. This unification under one ruler paved the way for the emergence of a unified Egyptian identity and the establishment of the dynastic rule that would characterize ancient Egypt. The merging of the two lands brought about a new era of prosperity and cultural development. Narmer's legacy is not only political, it is also artistic. His reign marked the beginning of a flourishing period for Egyptian art and culture. The Narmer palette, a ceremonial artifact discovered in the ancient city of Hierakonpolis, depicts Narmer wearing the crowns of both Upper and Lower Egypt, symbolizing his dominion over the two lands. This artifact is a testament to his power and the significance of his rule. This artifact provides us with a glimpse into the early stages of Egyptian art and the significance of royal iconography. The intricate carvings and symbols on the palette tell a story of power, divinity, and the unification of a great civilization. With the unification complete, a new era dawned upon the land of the Nile. The once divided regions now work together, sharing resources and knowledge, leading to advancements in various fields. The first dynasty was established, marking the beginning of a remarkable journey that would span thousands of years. This period saw the consolidation of power and the establishment of traditions that would endure for millennia. The unification of Egypt laid the foundation for the flourishing civilization that would leave an indelible mark on human history. The achievements of ancient Egypt in architecture, art, and governance continue to inspire and awe the world to this day. The Old Kingdom, spanning from around 2686 to 2181 BC, is often regarded as the golden age of ancient Egypt. This era laid the foundation for the grandeur and mystique that we associate with ancient Egyptian civilization today. This period witnessed the flourishing of Egyptian culture, marked by impressive advancements in art, architecture, and governance. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom were not just rulers, they were seen as gods on earth, and their divine status was reflected in the monumental projects they commissioned. It was during this era that the iconic pyramids enduring symbols of ancient Egypt were constructed. These structures were not merely tombs, but were also a testament to the pharaoh's power and their connection to the divine. These colossal structures, built as tombs for the pharaohs, showcase the architectural prowess and the sophisticated engineering skills of the ancient Egyptians. The precision with which these massive stones were cut and placed continues to baffle modern engineers and historians. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built by the pharaoh Khufu, is the most impressive of them all. Standing at an original height of 146.6 meters, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world. Its sheer scale and precision continue to astonish us today. The alignment of the pyramid, with the cardinal points, and its near-perfect symmetry, are feats of engineering that still inspire awe. The construction of these monumental tombs was not only a testament to the pharaoh's power, but also a reflection of the Egyptians' belief in the afterlife. The pyramids were seen as a means to ensure the pharaoh's safe journey to the afterlife, where they would continue to rule as gods. The pyramids were designed to ensure the safe passage of the pharaoh's soul into the afterlife, equipped with everything they would need for eternity. This included not only treasures and food, but also intricate spells and texts inscribed on the walls to guide them through the afterlife. The Old Kingdom wasn't just about pyramids, however. It was a period of remarkable cultural and intellectual achievements that laid the groundwork for future generations. This period saw the development of hieroglyphic writing, a complex system that combined logographic, syllabic, and alphabetic elements. This writing system was used for religious texts, official inscriptions, and monumental art, playing a crucial role in the administration and culture of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians also made significant strides in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Their understanding of the stars and the human body was advanced for their time, and many of their practices laid the foundation for future scientific discoveries. The Old Kingdom was a time of unprecedented prosperity and stability, but like all empires, its time in the sun would eventually come to an end. The Nile River, which had been the lifeblood of the civilization, also played a role in its decline. Internal strife, coupled with a weakening central authority, would usher in a period of instability known as the First Intermediate Period. This era of chaos and fragmentation marked the end of the Old Kingdom, but the legacy of its achievements would endure for millennia. The First Intermediate Period, spanning roughly from 2181 to 2055 BC, marked a significant departure from the opulence and stability of the Old Kingdom. This era was characterized by political fragmentation, social unrest, and economic decline. The once powerful centralized government of the pharaohs weakened, allowing provincial governors known as nomarchs to assert their independence. The First Intermediate Period was a time of uncertainty and upheaval. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, experienced irregular flooding patterns, leading to famines and social unrest. The weakening central authority resulted in increased competition for resources and power struggles between rival nomarchs. Despite the challenges, this period wasn't devoid of cultural and artistic innovation. The nomarchs, eager to assert their authority and legitimacy, commissioned elaborate tombs and temples in their respective regions. This competition led to a flourishing of regional artistic styles and a departure from the rigid artistic canons of the Old Kingdom. The First Intermediate Period, often viewed as a dark age in Egyptian history, was a time of significant transformation. It marked the end of the Old Kingdom's centralized rule and paved the way for the emergence of a new dynasty that would reunite Egypt and usher in another era of prosperity and power. Around 2055 BC, a new dynasty emerged from Thebes, a powerful city-state in Upper Egypt. This marked the beginning of a transformative era in Egyptian history. Mentuhotep II, a visionary leader, succeeded in reuniting Upper and Lower Egypt, bringing an end to the political fragmentation that had plagued the country for nearly a century. His leadership was instrumental in restoring the nation's unity. This reunification marked the beginning of the Middle Kingdom, a period characterized by renewed stability, expansion, and a flourishing of arts and culture. The Middle Kingdom is often considered a Renaissance period in ancient Egyptian history. Mentuhotep II's reign marked a return to strong central authority. He was not just a ruler, but a reformer who laid the foundation for future prosperity. He embarked on ambitious building projects, revitalized trade routes, and restored order throughout the land. These projects included the construction of temples, fortresses, and irrigation systems that boosted agricultural productivity. The Middle Kingdom pharaohs, learning from the mistakes of their predecessors, implemented administrative reforms to strengthen the central government and prevent future fragmentation. These reforms included the establishment of a more efficient bureaucracy and the appointment of loyal officials to key positions. The Middle Kingdom was not only a time of internal consolidation, it was also an era of expansion. Egyptian armies pushed the boundaries of the kingdom further than ever before. Egyptian influence reached southward into Nubia, a region rich in gold and other valuable resources. This expansion brought immense wealth and resources to Egypt, further solidifying its power. Trade flourished, bringing wealth and exotic goods from distant lands. Merchants traveled far and wide, establishing trade networks that connected Egypt with other great civilizations of the time. The Middle Kingdom, with its focus on stability, expansion, and administrative efficiency, laid the groundwork for the emergence of the New Kingdom, a period that would witness Egypt's transformation into a mighty empire. The achievements of the Middle Kingdom set the stage for future greatness. The pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom, through their shrewd leadership and ambitious endeavors, ensured that Egypt would rise again to reclaim its place as a dominant force in the ancient world. Their legacy is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of the Egyptian civilization.